Argentina's stock market the past 5 years is up 315%. The S&P 500 is up 92%. 315%. So look, I'm pretty bullish on Latin America. I haven't gone out and bought a ton of Latin America companies. We don't do it for clients. We buy the U.S. companies that sell into those markets. ExxonMobil is obviously a classic example of that in Guyana. But look at Argentina. I think what's happening behind the scenes is there's an expectation that you could see some manufacturing actually move back to Latin America as opposed to the traditional move a factory from China to India. Now, Apple is already moving factories from China to India. They did it the first time. But I've talked to people on the ground in India. Part of the problem with India is they just don't have the same skilled labor that you have in China. So part of the reason that you've had this concentration in manufacturing in mainland China is because of the skilled labor. That's very hard to replicate, right? It's very hard to reproduce that. But if you've watched the videos now with AI, machine learning, and even robotics, and you look at these Optimus robots, you look at the robots in the Amazon warehouse, I think there's a good chance you could build automated warehouses all throughout Latin America and ship goods right from there without the necessity of the skilled labor from China. And who knows, maybe we're 5 years away from this, but I think the reality is there's a lot of exciting things coming on the AI side of things that isn't the traditional sense of Chat GPT, right? Chat GPT is just the tip of the iceberg, but underneath the water is all of the neat things that actually will be bringing back manufacturing to maybe South America.
Yeah, and to your point as well, I mean, like, is China really in trouble here? I know
I think so.
we've seen some talks about them melting down the smaller, medium-sized companies, especially now that the de minimis rule is gone, everything's getting a tariff on it coming out of there. It seems like they're kind of starting to struggle a little bit. I mean, can we expect any retaliation there? What do you think?
Listen to this. Okay, here's a stat for you. So there's been 384 million people who have now left the CCP the past few years. Just in 2024 alone, you've had almost 100 million people leave. Now, China's a massive place, so it's not necessarily a rounding error, but it's still a huge number of people. Here's another stat for you. This goes back to, I know this is older data, but in the first 9 months of 2021, 15 million people quit the CCP. And so I think boots on the ground, if you really had an understanding of what's going on, which we don't, we get very limited data from China. I think President Xi has a tremendous problem on his hands. I've been saying this for 6, 7 years now. And that's why Chinese stocks, yes, they've had a pop this year in 2025. Chinese stocks are up 17% year to date. But still look at the past 5 years, down 11% the past 5 years. And those were coming off of COVID lows. Even Europe has performed better. Europe is up 61% the past 5 years. China has been literally one of the worst performers on a country level. And it's supposedly the second biggest economy on earth.